My name is Maria Barbas, and I'm from St. Demetrius Greek Orthodox Church in Seattle, Washington.
You were not at the very first FDF when people went from Seattle, but just kind of generally give us a recap of when you got involved with FDF here.
I got involved in the year, with FDF in the year 1987 when we took our first group down. We had a group go 2 years before to compete. They did so well, they got sweepstakes 2 years in a row, so they came back to Seattle and all of our children were pumped up to start dancing and go down and compete because our little boys decided that it wasn't bad to wear those white skirts and the pom-pom shoes, because there were athletes that were dancing in the first group, and so it was very impressible to the kids. And so we took 5 groups down, and I was part of the dance board at the time, and we had very good parent representatives down there, and we had Father Homer, of course, who loved to see the kids dance and have a good time. So 1987 is when I started down there, and I've been to every FDF since then.
Wow. Were you a director?
No, I was not a director. I was more of the business side of it. I didn't, my girls, all 3 girls danced, and all 3 of them have directed. And when the 2 got married, they kind of backed off a little bit. But now their children are old enough to be in the dance program, and as I understand, it'll be their first FDF this year.
Oh, how fun. Yeah. You're going to that.
Oh, of course I'm going.
Yeah.
Even when my girls didn't dance, but they were directors, people would say, well, why are you going down? You know, your kids aren't dancing. And I said, well, I have fellowship. I have met so many nice people, and this is kind of a reunion for me, and I like to watch the other kids dance, and I just love to be around them.
I'm always curious. I know back in the day, the directors used to go to Greece quite often, and I don't know quite often, but they would go over there and learn new dances. Mm-hmm. Do your daughters do that? My
youngest daughter was very fortunate to be one of the recipients of the dance scholarship to go director. I'm not sure if it's a dance scholarship or the director scholarship, and was able to go to a seminar over there for 2 weeks. And which was nice, really nice. But on occasion, our directors do go over there. But on the other hand, we bring directors from Greece here to help our children out. And we've been, like I said, taken the high school kids 2 different times to Greece to meet the directors there and the dancers there. And then they've come over here. We've brought them over here, so.
Now, when you say the directors there, they don't have FDF there, obviously.
No, but they're dance directors. I mean, they're instructors, dance instructors that they have over there. And they have their groups. And none of the people that we've been involved with have been to FDF.
Oh, okay. That was my next question.
Yeah.
If it was any of the
directors have been, the directors that we've brought over here, or instructors, I should say, that we've brought over here, have attended. We've taken them down to FDF so they can see what it's like and what are the ultimate goal of our children.
And what do they think when they see all these
They're
children?
awed. They're awed by it all. They just can't believe how one function will have so many children in there. Happy children.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as the music, you bring musicians down.
Yes, we didn't for a long time. Our kids danced with tapes at that time, and we, little by little, the people in California were fortunate enough to bring musicians, and then we were even more fortunate to have the Govetas family in Seattle. They moved to Seattle, and we're very fortunate to have them because they play for us now. And if there's music that they don't know, then we will hire some musicians to play for us, depending on the region that the directors pick.
Can you told us yesterday, or told me about the goletas. Can you just describe like the wife plays this and like you did yesterday?
Well, she plays the,
names?
yeah, well, Christo, the father, plays, well, the clarinet. You know, they're so fortunate they play almost every instrument there is. But he's mainly the clarinet for us. And then she plays the accordion along with other instruments. And then the children are the same way. The boy plays the drums, does a fantastic, little Bobby does a great job playing the drums. And then the girl is, again, you know, the trumpet, the clarinet, anything you want. The only thing I don't think that they play is the violin, because I know we've had to hire violinists whenever we do like island dances. We've hired violinists to play. But very talented family, and we are so fortunate to have them in Seattle. They come during practice with our kids. I mean, we're a community, and they're part of that community.
Okay, that's good. And then we're asking about Bishop Anthony, as you know. Did you know him?
I knew him, but not really, really well. I knew that Bishop Anthony would come up here, and of course he was always surrounded. I never had any meetings with him. I never had any really on a one-to-one conversation like Paul did. But I admired him in that every time down at FDF, the kids were always surrounded around him, and he was so good with the kids, and you know, danced with the kids, and it was good to see that, really good.
I really want to get a feeling of the Seattle experience, either how Seattle's different from the California teams, or just what it means, a flavor of the Seattle FDF groups.
Well, I really don't know how to answer that, in that I don't know, because we're up here, we have mostly our groups. You know, down in California there's so many groups down there, and our kids grow up together here. They don't go from one community to another community. We have a rule here, there's 3 Greek churches here, and part of our policies and guidelines are that we do not pull from another parish if they have a parish dance group in a particular age bracket. If they don't have like a high school group at one of the parishes, then absolutely they're more than welcome to come, but we don't want to draw from there. So our kids are at St. Demetrius have grown up together, and then do welcome children from the other parishes also. But they're pretty close. They're pretty close kids.
Yeah, I can tell from the people that I've met
Yeah.
in Seattle. Do you have any favorite memories, moments at FDF or here?
I do. Of course, my very first one in 1987 was just extremely exciting for everybody here. I mean, when you take 5 groups down, and they all come home with a medal, of course, it was exciting. But just our kids to have that experience, whether they came home with a medal or not. That was in 87. In 1997, Seattle, St. Demetrius won the sweepstakes for Division I and sweepstakes for Division II. That was amazing to have that happen, and even, you know, the Metropolitan, and I don't know if it was Bishop Anthony who was there, said, my goodness, he said, both from the same city. But our kids, there's been many times when they haven't won awards, but they come home just as happy because they've had that beautiful experience. My other time, of course, having it in Seattle. FDF in Seattle, I was co-chairperson along with Peggy Tromatanis, and that was an experience for us. I mean, it was amazing, and it was surprising to me. It was the worst snowstorm we had that particular weekend. We had about 65 groups that came to Seattle. Modesto, as an example, came up by bus, and it was an event that I'll never ever forget, because we pulled it off, and I was really excited because, I mean, I worked with Peter, I worked with Charlie, I worked with everybody, and it was amazing. And I go to California today, And if they find out that you're from Seattle, and if they came to Seattle, they said, we had the best time up there. We're known for our hospitality up here.
Okay. Could you say that again about when people hear you're from Seattle, if they were at the FDF?
Yes, if you're down, to this day, if I've gone down in Seattle, I will meet somebody at FDF in the elevator, on the stairwell, and of course you always ask where everybody's from. And if I say Seattle, they and if they've been here, they just cannot say enough good that they've been, that the time that they had here in Seattle. So at FDF, and it was fun. It was great.
And if you could just say Seattle, or something like you said, we're known for our hospitality.
Oh, and of course, you know, everybody knows Seattle's known for their hospitality.
Okay, thank you. That's good. If you're at FDF and you're going into a coffee shop or something and someone comes up to you that's not with the group, but they see all these FDF t-shirts and they say, what is this thing that you're doing here? What is this all about? How would you describe FDF?
Well, I would tell them it's a Greek folk dance festival competition that children's from, and I would name the states, they come to show how many numbers are involved. And I would also say that they have the fellowship, they have workshops, they get to meet one another, and throughout the years they become friends. And it's a 3-day hard-working, running around, no sleep event. And the kids do work very hard, and it's just basically the Greek folk dance competition with a fellowship thrown in there too.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. There's something you just said in there that I wanted to ask you about.
You want to try that again?
Oh.
Yeah, there was.
Say it over again.
I think the idea. Go ahead. Okay.
No, you go ahead. I should have written it
To try
down.
and get the what is FDF?
I know what it was. When you said from several states, if you could say it again.
Oh.
I'm sorry, we're just like setting you up for all this. but-
Okay, no,
And
it's
just
fine.
name a few of the states, like they come from as far as
Okay.
Hawaii and Alaska.
Yeah, all right. So if
FDF
I was,
is-
FDF is a Greek folk dance festival involving children from, well, not only children, young adults also, from our metropolis, which includes states from Alaska, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Hawaii, Arizona. I think that's it. And, you know, you get around 1,000, 1,500 dancers there, along with their parents. It's a very, very large event. And the kids enjoy getting on stage, gives them a little confidence. And it's fun. Love the fellowship there too.
How has it changed over the years? Or I mean, obviously it's changed, but in what fundamental ways?
The change, of course, the cost is the biggest change. You know, things have gone up so high, so your registration is high, your hotels are high. It's a sign of the times, I guess. So us coming from the Northwest it's hard, and but we do through fundraisers and all, and the amount of people. So basically, I think everything is the same, but there's a lot more people involved, and it's good. And but it's harder to find hotels where you can accommodate everybody. So therefore, you're splitting it up, and but I guess big is good too.
Yeah,
Big is good.
It's a good problem. to
It
have,
is a
as
good
they
problem.
say.
Yes,
Have you
yes.
been involved with costuming?
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of like the business end of it. I've been
Right.
president for about 8 years of our dance board. We have a lovely board with about 15 parents, and we just work very hard, fundraisers. And I'm just kind of the back of the dance program. Paul had mentioned when we go to FDF that we have a suite down there. We started that since we had FDF in Seattle, where we have our meeting area. And I'm kind of the den mother of that. I make sure that there's snacks in the room, and make sure the doors are always locked when all of our kids are performing, because everybody has to support one another in our group. And I've been doing that for many years now, and it's a good meeting place. And if the kids don't want to go down to the playroom or go someplace, then they know they can always stay in that room and feel comfortable there.
I didn't know the groups did that.
They don't. We're the one group that has done it, and there might be other groups that do it now, but yeah, they've made comments about how nice it is to have a meeting place like that. So whether it's a nice suite, if it's available, and it's harder and harder to get a suite now, because we have so many dignitaries who come to FDF now because they all want to see and be part of it. And so either that, or we'll just get a double room and have that in the adjoining room. Yeah.
I know that you know a lot about this documentary, and you've probably spoken to Peter about it. Is there anything that you would really like to see brought out?
I think what's being done now, though, is great. Interviewing the people that you've been, I haven't really looked at it that close to see what the California people are doing. But I think it's awesome. I think the culture part of it is great. I think the dancing, the FDF, and I know this has always been very dear to Peter's heart, is the FDF, and I think it's a great idea.
Can I ask you about the website? Have you looked at the website?
Briefly,
Okay.
just briefly, yeah. Not like I should have.
No, there's not much going on there at
Yeah.
this moment.
Okay.
I mean, it's there. We have a gallery of photos, so I'd like to kind of make a Seattle gallery.
Mm-hmm.
on the
Okay.
website.
I did see where Father Homer's picture was on it.
Yeah.
That's great.
What about Father Homer? You must have known.
Father Homer was the man who was supposed to be here forever and ever and ever. It was, of course, a very big shock for all of us. Very supportive of our dance program, and I just can't tell you enough about him. He's just was an awesome person. In fact, every time we would go down to FDF, we called his wife the cheerleader, our cheerleader, because she would cheer for us, stand on the chair and yell for us. We had some good times with Father. Very, very wonderful person, and dedicated priest of the church. I mean, it was awesome. He was one of my favorites. Yeah.
You were saying his grandchildren have come?
He has, yes, the grandchildren. He's got all three of his children are here, and his grandchildren, I think he's got, what, 7 grandchildren, and it's just sad that he was never able to see them because his kids were, had gone to school, and they married later on in life and then had children, but he died early also. But he would always say, all the children here are my grandchildren. He would always tell me that. So, yeah, he was a great person. Yeah, he was with us for 25 years. Yeah, so.
So you were fortunate.
Very fortunate, yeah.
To hear that one. In the Greek Orthodox Church, priests can get transferred, right?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yeah. He was transferred from St. Sophia, I believe, down in California. And then, like, Father Fotios was transferred from Castro Valley. So, yeah, they do.
Is Father Fotios a supporter of FDF?
Yes, very much so. He got right into it.
Really? Could you say
Very
Father
competitive.
Fotios
Okay,
is-
Father Fotios is definitely involved in our dance program and comes to FDF every year. He's right there with our children, right there with, and very competitive person also. But no, we're very fortunate. He's very, very supportive. And all 3 of his children have danced, have been directors, and now his youngest, who's in high school, we have a director in training program also. And so his youngest, Joseph, is a director in training and doing a fantastic job. So their family has been very much involved. I have 3 girls that were and are very much involved in the dance program in FDF. Anastasia is Anastasia is the middle child. She's has two boys who've started to dance this year. Tina is my oldest daughter with two daughters who have lost it words, have started dancing, and I understand will be going to FDF this year. Then my youngest, Krista, is very much involved with the management team and the judges, and has been for about the last 4 or 5 years. Just very active. All three girls have been directors and dancers, and just devoted a lot of their time to FDF and the kids that we have here in Seattle.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can you, like going back to, I don't know, the very first time you put your kids into FDF, do you kind of remember like the conversations that maybe you and your husband had, why you guys wanted to do it? What motivated you to get into it in the first place?
We all went down the first year in 1987 for our family. And I think it was just the thrill of going down to California and competing and getting on stage and meeting people, like we've said. We didn't really have a conversation. It was what we were going to do. I do remember my father was real ill at that time, and we went up to the hospital to tell him what we were going to do. And the gleam that he had in his eye, we'll never forget that, because he was very excited that we were going to do this and experience it, because my parents really liked music and dancing. And that's one thing, and I think that prompted us to even want to go even more, because he was thrilled that we were going down. But it was just, we used, the kids practiced. I mean, it was just, we all had the opportunity, and I think we took about 109 children down that particular year, plus the parents. So, I mean, it was just a new experience for us. And
where were your parents from in Greece? Were they from Greece?
yes, my mother was from a little village called Paliochorio, south of Lamia. My dad was over in right across the water from Patra, called Katovasiliki. And then he was born in a village way up north, but grew up in the other village. But the central area, both of them were from there. And my dad came over as about 25 years old. My mother came over as an infant. And I actually am a foreigner too. I was born in Canada, because my dad came to Canada from Greece. But yeah, they were very proud of their grandchildren being involved in this particular program. Yeah, having the opportunity to travel and go to California.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, an excuse.
Did you and your husband meet through the parish?
At a Greek wedding here in Seattle. We both attended the same parish, and it was not this one, it was when it was located downtown. And I just met him at a Greek wedding, and we've been married for, next month it'll be 54 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. And he's obviously involved in FDF.
He has been. He hasn't been the last, since the kids haven't danced. He doesn't go down, and he's elderly now, so has some little health issues. But he says, you go have a good time. But he was right down there. We had 2 or 3 people that would sit with him, and he would do the judging himself, and then compare his notes with the real judges.
How did he do?
He came pretty close a lot of times. Yeah. Yeah, he made sure he sat right in the front row, and he judged everything there himself. So.
Well, I haven't heard of anyone else doing that, but I suppose when you go to a baseball game and they have the
Exactly. Yeah.
Did he have the judging sheets?
No, he just wrote his own down. Well, according to the program that they had,
Yeah.
where they have the outline of. Yeah, it was cute.
You knew Dina Stamos
Oh,
pretty
some of the friendships that I have made, I knew Dina very well. She's been to my house, I've been to her house. We had mutual friends, and very lovely person. Saw her dance room. I don't know, have you seen that? Yeah, so her dance room is just, it was really very nice. She worked very hard, and she used to refer to me as the Dina Stamos of Seattle.
Oh, that's quite a compliment.
Yes, coming from her it was, yes, yeah. You know, also we had FDF helped sponsor symposiums here in Seattle. There were a couple of them. And Dina had come up, and Charlie and Peter were up here. And that helped. We had people, instructors from Greece who would come and have some groups come too. So we would have our big symposium here in the hall, and then we would have the big party at our house. We have a big backyard, so we had our, and so we referred to that as the barbecue. So we had several of those parties at our house, and it was great. It was great. Then we got the people from California, the people from Greece, and the people from Seattle together.
I'm glad you said, I read that Eris.
There.
I have a question we didn't touch on, which was about like the leadership. So, you know, like one of the foundations of FDF was that it, you know, was intended to help youth like build, you know, to build leadership within like
Yes,
youth and
yes.
to help like teach them and you know, bring confidence to, you know, both, not only the people that are participating, but also the people, you know, these kids that are basically running the event, putting it on. Can you speak at all to your thoughts on like some of those
Well,
like
I can
benefits or
speak
something
for
like
my
that?
children. My children were never really people to step forward and be leaders. And I think especially my youngest one has, when she was 11 years old, we went to FDF, and she and another young boy were the speakers explaining what this suite was about. From that point on, she has gained so much confidence in speaking in front of a group of people that I love the confidence that our kids get when they get on stage like that. I have my little granddaughter now, so she found out that she was going to be able to go to FDF. And she says, I can't go, yeah, I can't go. She said, it's competition. I'm not going to be able to get on the stage. What if I make a mistake? And I said, that doesn't make any difference. But when she goes and has this experience, I think that I will see in her in a couple years a little leadership, a little confidence. And I think I never had that opportunity as a child to get up on the stage and dance in front of a group of people until I was older. And I can see it. And the leadership of these young adults that are putting on the FDF, it's amazing because they're doing a great job. Now, we have right now, I would say at least 7 or 8 kids, young adults from Seattle that are on the management team that have given a lot to, with their ideas. I mean, they're all educated kids. They're able to, and through the years, all of these children have been dancers too. So over the years, they've moved up the ladder, in other words.
Can you see like that switch go off, like after a child goes for the first time? I have, yes. I've seen it in a lot of the kids. Yeah, they get a little nervous up there, but when they see that the other kids don't get nervous as much, the experienced ones, they're okay. I had a daughter that every time she made a mistake on the stage, she would laugh. Smile, the biggest smile on her face ever. I knew that she had made a mistake, but if you were to look at her, you would know she made a mistake, that this was her presentation. But
you know, I do see that in the children. I see it in the children over the years. They get more confidence. But you know, they're out. They're doing gymnastics now. They play football. They do their sports, and so it's a competitive world out there. So they are they're a little more relaxed. They're amongst their friends. They're having a good time. That's what counts.
That makes the difference, isn't it? Their peers are all doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.